Ittehad Council was a political party which had not contested the general elections, which had not secured any seat in the general elections. Even its chairman, the appellant number 2, had not contested the general elections on the seat of the Sunni Ittehad Council. And the court therefore unanimously ruled that under Article 51, read with Article 106 of the Constitution, these persons could not have joined the Sunni Ittehad Council, and the Sunni Ittehad Council was not entitled to any reserved seats.
Sorry, sir, thoda sa correction kar de. The independents were entitled, they can join Sunni Ittehad, but not for the purpose of reserved seats.
Yes, sir, anyone can join any political party within 3 days.
मखदूम साहब, I'm sorry, I'm to cut you. जो पार्टी ऑलरेडी इलेक्शन जीत के अंदर आई है, क्या उसको ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, या बाहर जो बैठी है, which has not contested any election, and if I contest election in independent capacity, और मैं अंदर आके पार्लियामेंट के अंदर जाके कहूँ कि मैं बाहर जो इलेक्शन में नहीं जीत के नहीं आई है, तो मैं उसको ज्वाइन करती हूँ.
All 13 members unanimously hold that they could not have so joined. This is a point dealt with, and Sunni Ittehad Council has not sought a review of that. This is a point dealt with unanimously. All 13 members.
Sorry to say, सबने ये नहीं कहा. मैं थोड़ा सा डिस्टिंक्शन दे रहा हूँ इसलिए कि my judgment is somewhat different from that. मैंने इस हद तक कहा, जब हम 2 मेंबर थे, कि any candidate जो इंडिपेंडेंट है, वो किसी भी पार्टी, कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी जो कि रजिस्टर हो, उसको ज्वाइन कर सकता है. लेकिन जहाँ तक सीट की बात है, ये रिजर्व सीट किसे मिलेंगी, हमने कहा उससे मिलेगी जिन्होंने इलेक्शन कंटेस्ट की. क्योंकि सुन्नी इत्तेहाद ने इलेक्शन कंटेस्ट नहीं किया था, ये कैंडिडेट शामिल हो सकते हैं उनमें, लेकिन सीट के हकदार नहीं होंगे, रिजर्व सीट के हकदार.
माय लॉर्ड,
और वो पार्टीज जिन्होंने इलेक्शन जीता, बेशक एक सीट जीती हो, तो उसमें अगर आज़ाद उम्मीदवार शामिल हो जाएंगे, तो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट स्ट्रेंथ, तादाद उसमें शामिल होने के बाद फिर रिजर्व सीट.
That's correct. Maybe I was not clear in my submission. My submission is that all 13 members of this honorable court held that a political party which had not contested the general elections and had not secured a single seat as a result of the general elections will not be entitled to reserved seats simply on the basis that independent candidates have joined it. And on that basis, all 13 members were unanimous in the dismissal of the 2 review petitions, of the 2 appeals filed by the Sunni Ittehad Council. So the submission.
वो बाद में पार्टी जो पार्लियामेंट में पार्लिमानी पार्टी बना सकते हैं,
जी,
लेकिन वो रिजर्व सीट के हकदार नहीं होंगे.
Correct, my lord. Under Article 17, paragraph 2. The fundamental right is to join or form any political party.
मखदूम साहब, अब हमें ये बता दे, वो 13 मेंबर्स ने जो डिसाइड किया, लीव दैट असाइड, हमें इतना बता दे कि मैं जानना चाहती हूँ कि जो पार्टी कोई इलेक्शन कंटेस्ट करके अंदर जाएगी एज अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, तो जो इंडिपेंडेंट कंटेस्ट करके आएंगे तो उनके पास फिर चॉइस होगी, जो अंदर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज मौजूद हैं, जीत कर आई हैं, उनमें से किसी को ज्वाइन कर, ना कि वो जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी तो है लेकिन उन्होंने इलेक्शन ही नहीं किया, वो अंदर असेंबली में आए नहीं है, तो वो किस तरह उस पार्टी को ज्वाइन करे?
That is correct. That is the correct view of the law, and that is the view of the law which has been enunciated by the 13 members of this honorable court unanimously, that they may join anyone, but they will not be entitled to reserved seats on the basis of such a joinder. That's the submission. Now, sir, in terms on the second part, your ladyship, in terms of the notification having been quashed, which is paragraph 3 on page 191 of the majority judgment's short order, the submission is that a writ of quo warranto could have been issued under Article 199 of the Constitution, and if your lordship and your ships and your ladyship may graciously look at that. under Article 199, paragraph 1, subparagraph B, Roman 2, when issuing a writ of quo warranto, the court is required that requiring a person within the territorial jurisdiction of the court holding or purporting to hold a public office to show under what authority of law he claims to hold that office. That's the writ of quo warranto. So the first requirement is requiring a person within the territorial jurisdiction to show under what capacity he holds that office. So such a notice had to be issued. Secondly, your lordship will see related...
How you are treating it as a writ of quo warranto, because the court has not taken up individual offices, but the court has only struck down the notification issued by the Election Commission of Pakistan. So this is not simply sitter, in my view, tentatively, that this was a writ of quo warranto.
My lord,
it came here not under Article 184, but it was under Article 185, challenging the judgment of the Peshawar High Court.
Absolutely correct, my lord. And that is the submission that there was Peshawar High Court. Even if your lordship takes it as a view that it was a 185 matter, I was only pointing out that had they gone to the Peshawar High Court or come to this honorable court under 185.3, the requirement of 199 have not been met. But even more importantly, we have Article 225 of the Constitution.
Because the order was, ECP was under challenge, not the individual offices.
Yes, my lord. But if the consequence of that is that somebody whose notification has been issued as a returned candidate, that notification is quashed, it cannot be said that that person is not affected. My lord, moving away from the niceties, even if your lordship treats it...
Persons may have been affected. I am just distinguishing the feature between the normal writ and the writ of quo warranto.
My lord, if your lordship treats it, for an example, for an argument, treat it as a writ under 199 as a certiorari, quashment of notification. A person who is directly and materially affected by the quashment of the notification is at least entitled to a hearing before this honorable court and a notice from this honorable court. Thirdly, my lord, the submission is that the Constitution clearly provides under Article 225 that no election can be called in question except through an election petition. Your lordship is well aware of that.
It's Article 225.
225. And the result of the quashment of this notification was that their elections were undone. This, your lordship, will have to another article which is relevant, and I just refer to it over here and move on, is Article 175, paragraph 2 of the Constitution, which says that no court shall have a jurisdiction save as it vested in it by law or the Constitution. Your lordship will find in the majority judgment that none of these three articles find any reference.
How Article 225 attracts in this case?
My lord, because even if although the notification has been struck down, the result of the notification was that a number of persons stood elected to the offices on this reserved seat, and their election was being undone, so the election was being called in question. That election, once the notification is quashed, declaring them as returned candidates, their election is undone. And that is why 225 is relevant. But
Article 225 will come when there is a proper election. This is a reserve seat. You have to submit the nomination for the reserve seat, that your contestants of the reserve seat are there. So the seats may be allocated proportionality के साथ. जो proportional representation system mention है इसके अंदर.
Correct, my lord.
So Article 225 में reserve seat का तो कोई judgment ही नहीं है. There is no judgment of election tribunal for that.
My lord, yes, the nomination papers for reserved seats are filed in the same way as nomination papers for the general seats. They are scrutinized in the same way. Where the nomination papers are rejected or accepted, the challenges to them before the election tribunals are made in the same way, and post-election, if it is found that a candidate has been wrongly elected, a challenge is made before the election tribunal in the same way.
Between the candidates who allegedly deprive of the seat,
between the candidates,
he can or he can challenge.
Yes,
but in this case, the reserved seat notification has been struck down. So we just want clarity whether Article 225 in that regard is applicable, because what you mean to say that the notification should have been challenged before the election tribunal, then there was no case like that.
That is my submission, and I'll deal with it in greater detail. I'm just outlining these at the moment. That is the submission. I'll come to it in greater detail later with your lordship's leave and permission.
And if this was the case, then at very initial stage when five members bench was hearing this case in the Peshawar High Court, they could have non-suited on this technical ground that you have approached the wrong court. You have to approach to the tribunal for that reason.
My lord, their petitions were dismissed. This point was specifically not there, but these petitions were dismissed.
If your arguments are accepted, then the Peshawar High Court had no jurisdiction. Then the petition should have been dismissed instead of deciding it on merits.
My lord, Peshawar High Court,
the judgment of the Peshawar High Court will not be in field.
Peshawar High Court dismissed the petition in any
whether any this objection was raised by any forum.
Your ladyship,
on the jurisdiction of the Peshawar High Court.
Your ladyship, not in so many words, but
conceded to the jurisdiction of Peshawar High Court.
And the reason why this was not the case before the Peshawar High Court also is that at that time this notification of 13th of May 2024 was not in the field. The notification came in the field during the pendency of the matters before this honorable court, and therefore when this honorable court, so the question to the jurisdiction of the Peshawar High Court would not arise when it came before this honorable court. And now I move on to the main facts of the case. This was not an issue which was considered in the majority judgment one way or the other. Likewise, Article 175, paragraph 2 is only considered in the minority opinion of my lord, the senior member of the bench, and my lord, Mr. Justice Naeem Afghan. It is not considered in the majority judgment at all as to what are the consequences of a correct interpretation of Article 175, 2 of the Constitution. My lord, turning to the judgment itself, insofar as review petition is concerned, I am not going to spend a lot of time to state before your lordship as to what are the parameters or scope of the review jurisdiction. That is well established in a number of judgments of this honorable court, that when there is a departure from material facts without adverting to a provision of law or a departure from such a provision of the Constitution or the construction of the Constitution, not just interpretation, because the majority makes a distinction between interpretation of the Constitution and construction of the Constitution. The Supreme Court says this will be an error apparent on the face of the record and it will be interfered with. My lord, the judgment is Pakistan versus Fecto Belarus, PLD 2002, Supreme Court 208. The relevant page is 216. The relevant paragraph is paragraph